What's people, how we are doing, and welcome back to a match reaction. It is finished today on Boxing Day at the Valley. Charlton Athletic 2, Plymouth Argyle 2. Here we are again. Charlton Athletic dropping points once again. Last weekend we drew with the team with the worst defensive record in the division. Today we have drawn to the team who haven't won a game away from home all season. No words. There's no way of really sugarcoating this. We were shit. There's no other way I can really sugarcoat it. I can't say it any other way. We were utter shite. So yeah, let's get into talking about this game because it was such a delightful one, wasn't it? So let's kick things off with the starting 11. So initially I thought that we were playing a back five. Boy, it was not a back five, let me tell you that. So it was, as usual, Amos in between the sticks. It was Chris Gunter, Darren Pratley, Jason Pearce and Adam Matthews in the back line. A midfield of Ben Watson, Jake Forster-Caskey, Ian Maatsen and Jonny Williams. And the front two was Chuks Aneke and Conor Washington. And as for the away side, Plymouth Argyle, they went with a back five. They had Cooper in goal, a back five of Edwards, Will Aimson, Niall Canavan, Watts and Connor Grant. Midfield three was Penuche Kamara, Lewis McLeod and Mayer. And the front two was Luke Jepcott and Ryan Hardy. Issue number one, the lineup. You're thinking, okay, back five, Pearce, Pratley, Gunter as the centre-backs. It's a back four with Adam Matthews, a right back, bearing in mind, playing at left back. With the left back, Ian Maatsen playing in midfield. When we've got three midfielders in Alex Gilbey, Marcus Maddison and Albie Morgan on the bench. Pratley at centre-back, a centre midfielder, with centre-back Deji Oshilaja on the bench, who, bearing in mind, has been fully fit for ages now and has been on the bench for the past 3 games in a row. It was a weird one. I mean, going into the game, I had a little bit of optimism with Maatsen playing in midfield because we have seen Maatsen push into midfield a couple of times in latter stages of games. When Purrington's come on, he's dropped into left back and then Maatsen's moved into the midfield and he's had a more attacking role in the game, and I have liked him in this instance. This was the first time that Maatsen has started in this position, but you look at that and you think that's very dodgy, very dodgy. Right back playing left back playing in midfield with 3 midfielders on the bench, and we've got a centre midfielder playing centre back when there's a centre back on the bench. First half, first opening minutes, we looked good. We did look good. First 2 or 3 minutes or so, we were moving the ball nicely. We showed patience. We were trying to move, just trying to set the tone, set the tempo for the game, and we did look decent. And then 5 or 6 minutes in, Plymouth break on the left-hand side. Chris Gunter and Darren Pratley absolutely exposed on that right-hand side. They dart into the area. They cut past Watson, pulls it back to Luke Jepcott, who stabs home a relatively easy goal, and Argyle take the lead. Absolutely schoolboy defending. Gunter and Pratley, nowhere to be seen on that right-hand side. Absolutely nowhere to be seen. And it's just a shocking goal to give away. After Plymouth take the lead, same old story. Same old story for the past few games now. We try and be patient with it in the defensive line. The midfield is not moving, is not offering us any sort of option whatsoever. And we panic and we send the ball long and it does not work. And we were just rushing things half the time. We were trying to play one-touch football, trying to flick it on to other players, and they were just going out for throws. After the 25th minute mark, we got a little bit better, and eventually Chris Gunter, of all players, who got exposed for the first goal, drew Charlton back level after a corner came in from Forster-Caskey. I think it come off one of their players, and it fell kindly to Gunter at the back post, who drills it in for 1-1. So, obviously, we're back in the game at this point, and we're thinking, okay, this is our game to win now. We should be going on to win this game. And we had been piling on the pressure on Plymouth for quite a bit of time. I think Washington forced a good save out of Cooper. I think Watson conceded the free kick, and the commentator was saying, I like that, Watson showing aggression and going into it. That would turn out to be an absolute jinx, as Plymouth would retake their lead from the resulting free kick. The free kick came in. I don't really know what happened. I think Charlton players were appealing for offside. I think it come off one of our boys, fell kindly to Jepcott once again, who bagged himself a brace. Jepcott has scored 3 times against us this season at the Valley, in the FA Cup and then twice today. He's only 20. 10 goals this season for Plymouth. 20 years old. Absolutely superb talent. But enough of him. Talk more about the schoolboy defending that we showed. Because we defended like we'd never played football before. It really does show how much of a loss Akinfenwa and Ryan Innes are. During that 8-game unbeaten run, when we went 6 games without conceding, it was Famewo and Innes at the heart of that. And they were exceptional, you know? 6'3" and 6'5", man mountains in the back line. We really missed those today. And we've missed them for a long time since we've been injured. And it's going to be a very long time until they come back from injury as well. And we're stuck with this mediocrity. Massive second half was needed. We needed to be faster. We needed to be more aggressive. We needed to have the reaction that we did against Wimbledon. Because, of course, Wimbledon, we went into half-time with the same result, 2-1 down. Turned on the gas, and we absolutely killed them. Ian Maatsen, right before the break, hit an absolute thunderbolt from about 30 yards out and struck the crossbar. An absolutely unbelievable effort. Unstoppable. Absolutely unstoppable shot. But we were poor. Maatsen, of course, playing in midfield. I had a bit of optimism going into that because obviously, as I said, in the past he's played in that position, he's done very well. When Purrington's come on and he's moved into midfield from a more attacking role. Today, I didn't know what to think about him because I think going forward he was good, as usual. But his defensive side of the game was shocking. In possession, he was awful. Plymouth targeted that left-hand side. Gunter and Pratley were exposed on that side. They kept hitting us down that position. Pratley was really struggling to keep up with the likes of Conor Grant and Luke Jepcott and Ryan Hardy and Panuche Kamara. Second half rolls around, and to be totally honest with you, not a lot happened in the second half, to be totally honest with you. Not much that I can really recall. But what I can recall is the substitutions that we made, as 2 players did make way. Jonny Williams came off for Marcus Maddison, and Albie Morgan replaced Ben Watson, I believe. Watson didn't have the best of games, in my opinion. Johnny, despite Bowyer's comments about him, with Bowyer saying that Johnny wasn't himself, I felt Johnny was one of our more attacking players on the pitch. He was one of the players that was trying to grab hold of the ball. He was one of the players that, when he was on the ball, was trying to drive forward and was trying to get those attacks going. I felt Johnny was one of our more better players on the pitch out there today. When Maddison and Morgan come on, instantly they make an impact. Morgan is darting about the pitch, intercepting balls, trying to get balls into the penalty area. And it was the other substitute that drew Charlton back level for a second time, with arguably one of our goals of the season. Marcus Maddison picked up the ball after it was passed to him on the left-hand side. He was patient with it. He was looking for an option. The defender committed to tackling him, has nutmegged him, gone round him, and has hit an absolute thunderbolt, low-driven, straight into the bottom corner from about 25-30 yards out. It is a beautiful strike. Maddison draws us level, and we're thinking, okay, again, this is our game to win. Plymouth weren't exactly amazing. We're thinking, this is our chance to get a winner. And we did have a very good chance through Maddison once again. Picked up the ball on the right-hand side, pulled it back in the penalty area to Conor Washington, who I think was probably around the penalty spot. Shot that really needs to be going in, blazed into Rosehead. And that was how the game ended. Charlton Athletic 2, Plymouth Argyle 2. Shocking defensive errors. Not taking chances, it is a factor, because Washington, that chance, probably should be scoring. Maatsen, very unlucky with that effort from the crossbar. I think the main factor for this draw tonight, and for the results that have happened onwards from the MK Dons game, with Wimbledon being an exception because we won the game, is Bowyer himself. Last week, worst defensive team in the division, Swindon Town. The worst team I've seen us play this season, draw 2-2. Plymouth Argyle haven't won a game away from home all season, 2-2. We all know that this squad that we have is better than what is playing right now. We have one of, if not the best squad in the league. We keep dropping points, and it is down to Bowyer and his tactics. It is as simple as that, okay? I'll say it again. Darren Pratley playing at centre-back when you've got Deji Oshilaja, who is a centre-back, on the bench and is fully fit. Why isn't Deji playing? Look, I love Pratley, and I think he's a good player. Pratley's played in this position before. He at least needs to know the basics of playing at centre-back, because he's been in that position before, and he has done well in the past. The fact is, though, today he was poor. Today he was poor. And quite simply, if we've got a centre-back available, we play a centre-back in centre-back. But judging by Bowyer's quotes tonight on the South London Press, it seems he has no intention of changing it. He's saying that Pratley's been good. Why should I change it? Why should I rotate? I don't care if Pratley's done well in that position. He's not a centre-back. His best position is defensive midfielder, holding midfielder. And I would have him in that position over Ben Watson, hands down. If you are not going to play Oshilaja at centre-back, then you sell him in January and you bring in someone that will. You simply cannot stick with Pratley at centre-back when you've got Deji available. If you're not going to play him, bin him off, get rid, and bring in a centre-back in January that will. Because we're going to be without Famuyiwa and Innis until probably the beginning of March. Matthews, why was he playing left-back? You put a right-back at left-back who can't use his left foot. Countless amount of times, Matthews was put forward and he could easily have been found out because he could not swing across. I don't think he swung across in with his left foot all game. He had to constantly cut back, cross it in. I think at one point, he crossed in a ball with the outside of his foot. Like, why are you playing him at left-back? And then Ian Maatsen, who is a left-back, is playing in midfield when you've got Gilbey, Maddison, Morgan, who are midfielders, on the bench. Dylan Levitt, midfielder, not involved in the squad. You know, there's 4 midfielders there who are not playing. And you're playing a left-back in that position. I did have optimism with Maatsen playing in midfield. I think he's better in his natural position, which is left-back. I would even have played Ben Purrington at left-back, in honesty, over Adam Matthews. Hands down. Not the biggest fan of Purrington, and that's putting it lightly. But I'll give Purrington credit where he's due. I think in his recent performances, he's played very well, and he has impressed me. So I'll give him credit where he's due there. He weren't even in the squad. Purrington was left out of the team with no explanation as to why. So it does make me wonder, is Purrington out of the door in January? Is he being sold off? Had we won the game today, we'd have gone 3rd or 4th with what will soon to be 3 games in hand over Portsmouth. We go and draw to the team with the worst away record in the league, and we're now 6 points off the top. Realistically, we should be top 2. Maybe even winning the league at this point. That performance today tells me investment in January is badly needed. I think we need a centre-back. That's standard. The amount of injuries we've had in that position. Famuyiwa and Innis, they come back in March. We've got Pearce. We've got Oshilaja, who's not being used. I'll say it again. If we ain't going to use Oshilaja, sell him and bring in a defender that will. You simply cannot stick with Pratley at centre-back because that's not his position. We need a striker badly. Even though Washington and Aneke have scored 6 goals each this season, I haven't really seen Washington do much apart from score against Wimbledon in recent weeks. And after today's performance, maybe Aneke is an impact player. Maybe he is best to come off the bench rather than start games. In every game I've seen him start, I haven't really seen him do anything. And that is a worry, because Omar Bogle, in my opinion, is not good enough to start games. Paul Smyth, maybe he's good enough to start games. I'm not entirely sure though. But me being unsure is very clear that we need another striker. Maybe we need a midfielder and maybe a winger. And that I think will do us quite nicely. But the fact is, something needs to change. We cannot keep playing the way that we are right now. We cannot be dropping points to Swindon, to Plymouth, to Shrewsbury, losing to MK Dons. It's unacceptable for a team in the position that we're in. I know we're 6th. I know we're 6 points off the top with games in hand. I know that we're unbeaten in 4. The fact is, though, we are not getting top 2, maybe not even getting playoffs if we continue playing like this. I know we've got 4 key players out injured. Innis, Famuyiwa, Andrew Shinnie and Alfie Doughty. The fact is, though, even with those 4 players out, we know that the rest of the squad is good enough to compete in this league. It's good enough to finish top 6, to get automatics. It's good enough to win this league. I'm confident with that. It is good enough to win the division. But if we keep playing like this, if Boya keeps setting us up with these tactics, playing players out of position, neglecting players, putting them on the bench when they really should be starting, your Oshilajas, your Morgans, your Maddisons, quite simply, we will not be going up. That's me rant over. What do you guys think of the game? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what needs to change. What needs to change? Who would you like to see us sign in January? Let me know in the comments below. The fact is, right now, it's not good enough. Saturday, against Hull City, a fellow promotion chasing side who are also out of form under Grant McCann. It's a massive, massive game, and a game that we really need to be winning. This has been Tyler Anderson. Have a nice day, and I will see you all for the game against Hull City. I hope you guys had a very Merry Christmas, had a good holiday. Charlton, it's my 19th, the day before we play Hull City. Try not to let me down. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.